Okay.
Okay.
So back to this is the battery sled. All of the clips are in such a way so that during flight, all the batteries are into the clip. And that's for all three of the batteries, the GPS and both flight computers.
Okay. You're using 9-volt, the standard 9-volt batteries?
Standard 9 volts for all three, yeah.
Okay.
And then this is our omnidirectional antenna that we made that connects to our Egg Finder TX.
Okay.
And then as our secondary GPS, we have a featherweight with 3 AA batteries in the nose cone above our payload.
Okay. So are you using, you said your primary GPS, is this, who makes that one?
Egg Finder Rocketry, or Egg Timer Rocketry.
Okay, yes, I said that. So you're using an egg finder and a featherweight
yes.
to back each other up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me think here for a second. Okay, one thing to think about. Have you guys been to the competition before?
No, sir.
Okay, something you need to, okay. One thing you do need to be aware of is that from the time you have your final check on the field, the final RSO check, it may be a couple of hours before your rocket actually flies.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, do you have provisions for dealing with the idea that you're not drawing any power from your batteries during that period of time, are you? If you disable everything, is everything essentially, power neutral?
No, those GPSs will continue running.
You want to make sure you have enough battery capacity there for a good 2 to 3 hours.
Our part of the procedure for launch day is open a fresh pack of 9 volts.
Okay.
So
okay, I just want to make sure you're aware that things that we are working this year to make things work a lot faster. It's just stuff happens on the field. Sometimes there are delays, and you're going to be. So once the last RSO approves your rocket, we're going to take it into what we call quarantine, and it's basically going to be sitting on a rack waiting to get transported out to the field. Whether you guys transport it, or I'm actually driving the transporter myself, so for an extra $20, I won't hit the bumpy road. Then we get out there, you get on the pad. Of course, you've got to wait for everybody else to get on the pad. So just for your own sanity, make sure that whatever you put in there for batteries, for especially anything telemetry that you're going to need, or anything avionics, that you're good for that thing to turn it on and ignore it for at least 2 hours.
I think we can guarantee 2 hours with the GPSs. Obviously, our arming system is a power disconnect, so until it's armed on the pad, we have no draw from the flight computers themselves.
Okay, yeah, like I said, it's just something, last thing I want to see is all the work you guys done, especially when you rebuilt the rocket, have it go up and have the batteries down on the avionics, and we make another yucca bush out of it out in the middle of the desert.
Of course, thank you.
Right. So going on, it's a nice looking glass one, nice looking carbon fiber work there, by the way.
Thank you. Moving up from the electronics package is our 120-inch main, just a standard elliptical parachute in our upper airframe section, which then gets bolted to our hot fiberglass nose cone. We didn't make the nose cone. And this is our payload section, and this is our payload. It is a 15-pound steel box that is 3U in size.
Okay. Are you deploying it, or is it going to stay in the rocket?
It will all stay in the rocket.
Okay.
And then that's done by 2 end caps, 1/4-inch threaded rods with a load distributor on top to hopefully distribute the load from impact during 10. And then that is all completed by the featherweight at the very top.
Okay. What is your payload actually doing?
It's
Absolutely
just an inert
nothing.
mass.
It's inert?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're not collecting data or anything like that.
No.
It is a block of steel.
Okay. Remind me when you launch to go find a culvert to hide in.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on. So basically, the payload goes, does it go directly above the center, or is it going directly behind the nose cone?
It is directly in the shoulder of it. So.
Okay. So it's at the top of the rocket, is what they say.
That's correct.
Okay. I see a bolt coming out of the payload that's going to go up through the top of the nose cone. You're going to put a tip on it to screw it down. Okay. But that's not the only thing holding it in, correct?
That is the only thing holding it in.
These two compressing onto the nose cone.
What's the size of that bolt coming out of the top?
3/8.
3/8? Okay. I would feel a little better if you had something a little more. Okay, so once I'm looking at a small picture, does the nose cone eject, or does it stay attached to the upper section?
It stays attached to the upper airframe.
Okay, so basically the nose cone is held into place. The outer shell of the nose cone is held in place by the compression against that bottom plate and the screw at the top. Correct?
Yep.
That's correct.
And then that all slides into the body tube, and that is bolted to the top of the body tube.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm looking for is I'm just trying to I want to make absolutely certain that this thing can't fall out. Right?
Of course. And Vinny, if you actually angle the camera down, Al, you should be able to see that the recovery eye bolt's directly connected to this whole apparatus. So even if somehow this were to eject itself from the nose cone and body tube, it still will be attached to the chutes, the mains.
Okay, that's good. Okay, can you zoom? Is that a knot you've got tied there, or is it a sewn loop?
That was an alpine butterfly, I believe.
Quick link that is on order.
Oh.
So that's not your final solution?
That is not the final solution. It will be this right here. Everything will be done double bow line with a safety knot connected to a quick link.
Okay. And what are you waiting? What are you actually waiting for?
For the quick link to ship.
Okay. All right. So so far so good. Looks like okay. And what do we have here? Oh, that's just you walk around the table. Okay.
And the whole thing.
All righty. How are you retaining the motor?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, just a standard aero pack. Oh, just a standard aero pack.
Yeah, we've got the aero pack, thrust plate, and retainer, flange retainer.
You're using a 4-inch motor.
That's correct.
98, yeah.
And it was an Aerotech or a CTI motor you're using? I don't have all the numbers memorized.
The motor itself is CTI.
Okay. And I see the flyer record there. Mr. Flyer of Record guy, will you be assembling the motor?
I will be directing the assembly of the motor.
Okay, but you will be standing there looking over their shoulders while they do it.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, I see some shock cord there. How much cord do you have on each section?
30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. I always use the rule of thumb that if you've got room for more, you don't have enough, but whatever. And you said you have what? You said a 10-foot main or
10 foot, right? Yeah.
Okay, and then you're using a standard, what, about 2-foot drogue?
I think it's actually a
48
4-foot
inch.
drogue.
So,
Okay,
yeah, this
all right,
is pretty
and,
heavy.
so basically what's gonna happen is you're gonna, your electronics go in that, your deployment electronics go in that, that Bluetooth coupler. Then that coupler is gonna attach, is gonna be what, that's what joins the rocket together, and you're gonna separate. And what it's gonna look like when it's gonna done is basically the upper tube is gonna come off, pull the parachute out, the thin can's gonna come off the coupler, pull the drogue out. As it comes down to the main deployment apogee, the upper tube will come off, because the nose cone's not going anywhere, and then you basically have the parachute coming out, being pulled up from the tail, from the aft end of the upper tube. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Just to make sure we're perfectly clarified, the two sections of rocket body you see in the background, those are bolted together with 12 radial bolts. So that's not coming loose anytime soon. It's essentially just a standard route, dual deploy, and the blue tube with the fiberglass right here in front of you is the only thing that's going to be between the two fully deployed sections.
Okay. Think of some other. I see you're using what, standard 1515 rail buttons on it.
That's correct.
And how are they anchored?
The top one is bolted directly into the steel coupler, or sorry, the aluminum coupler. A hole is drilled and tapped. And then the bottom one, we've got several extra layers of carbon fiber that we laid up on the interior here of the airframe. Then we have a bolt going through that, and the whole thing is bedded in a epoxy.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, tell me about your deployment electronics.
We've got ourselves a Raven 4 and a Stratologger.
Okay, so you are not doing any homegrown electronics?
No, unfortunately, we had either a miscommunication or some sort of failure on the part of our board manufacturer, and we weren't able to come back from that quickly enough. So we won't be flying that.
I mean, I don't think it's a requirement. It's just you're the first team I've talked to who didn't have something that they brewed up at late one night in their dorm room.
Well, we tried, that's for sure.
Okay, so you're basically you are fully redundant, separate charges, separate e-matches.
Yep.
Your deployment scheme, you're going to deploy. Is the Raven primary or is the Stratologger primary?
Raven is primary.
Okay, and you're deploying at apogee, and then what are you doing? And what are you deploying? And what's your main altitude?
1,400 feet.
Okay, it's a big enough field for that. Okay, and now your backup. How are you timing your backup deployments?
They're 2 seconds after.
Okay.
Good question, Al. Are we able to deploy at a lower altitude? That choice of 1,400 feet was made based on a reading of the rules.
As far as I know, you can. I can find out.
Thank you.
I mean, I've never heard of it. I mean, I have never deployed that high in my life. I'm not fact, a lot of my flights don't even go that high some days.
No, we haven't either. And don't get me wrong, I think we all enjoy the outdoors, but that's quite the hike.
I mean, it's a huge field. I mean,
the main reason that was done was because when our club in 2018 went to Spaceport, none of us were a part of that, but the people who were a part of that also deployed at 1,400 feet, and their main did not have enough time to open, and their rocket came crashing.
Well, okay. You could, if you can't deploy a 10-foot parachute from 1,000 feet, you packed it wrong, plain and simple. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I can't. I mean, I can deploy. I deployed a 9-foot one this weekend from 500 feet. So
we really the failure reason was so we wanted to be sure that that didn't happen to us.
I mean, I have absolutely no reason why you can't deploy to 1,400 feet. It's in my hobby experience, it's just, the higher up the main comes out, the more you're going to walk. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
So do not, I will ask if you can go lower, but I would not, that is such a small issue. As I said, at 1,400 feet, if you don't deploy to 1,400 feet, you glued the parachute in. So not so much worry about that. Okay, so now you said that in both cases you're talking time after the primary event. So you have the Raven's going to deploy at apogee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Raven user per se. Is it accelerometer or is it barometric for the main?
You can do both, but we have it set to accelerometer.
Okay, that's my personal choice. Barometers get kind of funny to me, but I'm cool with that. And then you said 2 seconds after that, the stratologger is it going to be actually at a different? You just have it set to a different altitude. The stratologger set to a different altitude.
For the main, yes, and then the apogee is 2 seconds after.
Okay, so typically when you do the main, or at least how I do it, with redundant, you'll have like the main will go to apogee. The backup goes at, I usually go 100. I usually go between 100 and 200 feet below apogee. Mm-hmm. I'm not crazy about simple time on this, simply because I don't want the rocket accelerating any more than absolutely necessary.
The drogue is the one that's timed. The main is set for a smaller altitude. That one, I think, is only we have set for a 200-foot difference.
Okay. That's right. You're correct. I'm sorry. It's been a long weekend. I'm wrong. Okay. Yeah, you're going to go time past apogee, distance past main. I'm sorry. You are absolutely correct. All right. I see you're just using standard Kevlar blankets. You've got your charges calculated. Have you ground tested your charges on an airframe of this size?
Yes.
It's been ground tested on this airframe.
Okay, 2 people were talking.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was just saying this. Our black powder charges have been tested on this airframe, all assembled last night in flight configuration.
And you were getting good separation.
Yep.
Okay. I personally like to when you ground this, I like to see the separation a good 3 to 4 feet minimum. Just make sure you drag the parachute out. Are you using any deployment bags or anything like that, or are you just wrapping it in a blanket?
No, just wrapping it in Nomex.
Okay. One thing to be aware of, and I learned this the hard way a couple of weeks ago, actually about a month ago. Make sure that your blankets are secured and they're not loose on the shock cord, that they're tied at the base of the parachute, where the parachute shrouds come together. Because otherwise, that thing will slide up the strap lines and reef the parachute on you, and that ends. And trust me, that ends badly.
Yeah, we have it. It's like the cord was wrapped through twice so that it can't move left or right, so it gets stuck once it comes out.
Okay. Okay. So the big thing is just, I can't advise you verbally or visually here, but I'm sure Guy could probably take you through it if you can meet with him. Just make sure you pack the parachute so that it doesn't tangle. That's something you're just going to have to do, unfortunately. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Your payload's not coming out. You got the whole thing bolted together. What else we got? Let me think of it. Of course, you're going to go through this one more time, don't you?
Yes, of course.
And that is when you get to the convention center. If you face any of us doing the next to last safety review, we're going to have you walk up to the table and take it apart for us. and we're gonna look at it in person. You know, the people who run the event, all of us, we are maniacal about the safety on. Okay, are you using any 3D printed components?
I believe only the avionics mounts.
Okay, what material are you using?
This is carbon PLA. This is regular PLA, and then all of the nose cone pieces are carbon PLA.
Did we print the thrust distributor, or sorry, the load distributor with carbon, or was that just regular PLA?
Oh, load distributor is just regular PLA.
Okay, so this is where temperature is going to come into play, guys. You have a beautiful carbon fiber rocket. It is black, correct?
That is correct.
Or are you going to paint it?
We'll be painting the sections that have avionics. I believe we're going to be painting the top of the rocket white, and we'll be painting the switch ring itself. Based on some back of the napkin calculations, we don't expect it to do dramatic things to the temperature. It's going to be very hot.
This is a place where, if you're worried about your fins, I would worry about PLA.
Yeah. I mean,
because
when we all this stuff at the launch site last month, I mean, it sat on the pad for a pretty generous amount of time, and we had no deformities on any of the prints.
Okay, just for your own sanity, before you come out to the event, go to a sporting goods store, buy yourself a Mylar emergency blanket. You know the kind I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bring it with you, that if it's really, really hot and it looks like you're going to have to wait a while, you can wrap any place sensitive in it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So for $7 or $8, it will get. I mean, I always advise any team I deal with there. I say to them, hey guys, you know, don't paint it black first of all. paint the rocket white, the whole damn thing white. Paint it chrome, because it will get hot out there. And you know, it's one thing to worry about the TG of the fiberglass of the resins that make up the physical structure. It's another thing to have PLA baking inside of a black tube. So
thank you.
That's that. I'm trying to think what else I see here. You've got pull pin switches. You've explained that. That's good. You're not using any. You're not using any lithium batteries.
No.
Okay. And you're orienting the batteries and their holders so that thrust will push the battery into the contacts as opposed to potentially pulling it away from the contact.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Do not try to save any money on the batteries. Okay.
Duracell batteries only.
But, yeah, buy the best battery you can lay your hands on, because some of the lower end batteries, the connections inside the battery, the most 9-volt batteries are 8 tiny cells, either 6 or 8 tiny cells on the inside, and some of them are soldered, some of them are welded. Go good. You know, you don't want to waste all this effort on and save and lose it all by saving $3 on batteries.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Do you have the motor yet, or does Guy have the motor, or?
Yeah, Guy has the motor.
Okay, and you have the necessary hardware.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Are you planning on trying to fly this rocket before the event?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we won't be the first ones ever. Some of the people that come from overseas, sometimes I think they haven't even seen the rocket. The shock cord, that looks like what? That looks like half-inch Kevlar.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you shear pinning the place where it separates?
Yes.
I assume you're using either number 2 or number 4 nylon screws.
I believe number 2.
Okay. So let's see here what else we got. I think I'm in pretty good shape here. I think I can say that I would have really been happy to know you could have flown this thing at least once, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's a requirement. The rules are rather convoluted on a good day. So I think we can pretty much wrap this up. I'm reasonably happy. Guy, do you have any comments?
No, it's been quite an interesting journey here.
Is that interesting in quotes?
Yes.
Okay, I lost my meeting. Okay, guys, I'm not sure what the hell's going on here. This thing is just throwing me for fits all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and get. I see no reason not to sign you off and say that you're ready to move to the next stage. Congratulations, you're going to win the award at the award ceremony for shooting under the wire.
Good to know. Thank you. Thank you.
The old home base slide. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and I think you have to submit this video somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
with
if
that,
that's you or if that's through Herox, but I will figure that out.
Okay. I am satisfied with what I've seen here. I believe you have a safe rocket. Things are just well, I have to have one last thing. Do you have a functional set of checklists for setting up and getting it on the pad?
Oh boy, do we. Yes, yes, we do. Let me pull those up.
With whoever the team leaders or whoever's appropriate, would you be so kind as to email me a copy of that so I can look it over?
Yep, I can email you that.
Okay. I would just like to flip. I would like to consider if I'm doing my telephone here, and I don't want to try and read it on my phone. If you could send that to me, just for my own sanity, I'd like to look through it.
Yep.
Okay, one last thing. The attachment, all of the attachment points for your harnesses, they look like you're using a closed ring, either eye nuts or eye bolts.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not using any bent wire. That's what I wanted to check.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right, guys. I think we're in pretty good shape here. I think you've managed to pull a squeaker out here, and let's send me the stuff that whatever you think you need to send me, and I can do my final report on it. I'm pretty good. And who by the way, who's your okay, Guy, you're the flyer record. Who's the mentor?
So our mentor is originally Jonathan Jennings. He helped us start the project, but he has not been a part of this since probably January. And I have yet to get kind of response back as far as our progress checks go.
Okay.
So just really on this anymore.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. If that happens to you again in the future, raise that up with the through the HeroX thing or however they tell you to communicate.
Okay.
There's a lot of other level 3 players that would have been happy to help out. Okay, if for some reason some guy volunteers to help you, and something goes wrong in their life, and that does happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys out in AAA who would happily step up and give you a hand.
I think it was he moved from Arizona like shortly after joining our team.
Okay. But I know there's a lot of really good level 3 players. You're in Tempe, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what north of Phoenix.
It's Phoenix. It's all Phoenix.
It's Phoenix for all practical purposes.
That's correct.
I'm not sure. Well, let's see how things go. But if you guys come back next year and try to compete again, and you need to find a mentor, if nothing else, ask me and I'll help you remotely. Okay?
Thank you.
Alrighty. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna call this quits. I have somebody coming to visit me. And then from there, we're going to, I'll submit the paperwork saying that I'm okay, and we'll go from there.
Cannot thank you enough for helping us to get this done despite the
Yeah,
long,
thank you for your
slow
patience
schedule.
and all.
That's okay. Just next time you do this, somebody send me a phone number or something to text you, because, okay, whoever, Michael, you gotta respond faster, man. You gotta respond. I
Apologize.
last night I got home from my big event. I said, if I don't have something from these guys, I am going to launch into them like there's no tomorrow. All right, guys. Listen, I got to go. I think we're in pretty good shape here. If I have any questions, I'll reach. Who's the actual team lead?
That would be Michael. That's me.
Okay, so if I have any last minute questions, I'll reach out to Michael via email.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. You guys have a great day, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you at the end of the month.
All right, we'll see you in June.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.